Here we go. Just to clarify, some of this is notation for me as I'm grading it, but what this means is this whole section is worth 9 points. Number 1 is worth 2 points, number 2 is worth 2 points, number 3 is worth 2 points, and number 4 is worth 3 points. If you're interested in how I break it up, that's how I do it. Okay? All right, these ones should have been a piece of cake. I think most people did pretty good on these. These are all multiplication, correct?
Sure.
So, I can use box method or I can use distributive property. Since there are 4 problems, I will do 2 of them box method and 2 of them distributive property. Okay? So, I'm going to start off with distributive. 5x times 5x is 5x squared, 25x squared. 5x times 2 is 10x. Negative 2 times 5x is negative 10x. And negative 2 times positive 2 is negative 4. Those 2 cancel, and I'm left with 25x squared minus 4. Questions there? Easy, right? All right, over here. 7x times 2x, 14x squared. 7x times 9y, what's that? 63xy. Negative 4y times 2x is negative 8xy. And negative 4y times positive 9y is negative 36y squared. So, in standard form, x squared comes before y squared. So, 14x squared comes first. And then right in here has to come next. Why does this have to come before y squared? Because it has x to the first, and x is what's giving me standard form. So I have x to the second, now I do x to the first. What is 63 minus 8? So I have positive 55 xy, and then I have my minus 36y squared. There's my answer in standard form. Questions there? Awesome. Remember, ask your questions today. Tomorrow I become the dumbest person in the world. I can't answer a thing. Okay? All right, this one I had told you guys when you were taking it, it's 7n minus 2 squared. The copy machine didn't like that problem. So I'm going to use box method this time, like I said. So I need a 2 by 2 box because 7n minus 2 really means 7n minus 2 times 7n minus 2, right? So 7n negative 2, 7n negative 2. What is 7n times 7n? 49n squared. 7n times negative 2? Negative 14n. Negative 2 times 7n? Negative 14n. Negative 2 times negative 2? Positive 4. So, 49 n squared. And then what have I got for n's? Negative 28n, and then plus 4. So? Okay. And this one I have 2 by 3. So I need a 2 by 3. Let's see. I like to make my boxes a little bit bigger just so that way I'm not squishing exponents in there because it makes it kind of hard to read then. So x minus 3, 3x squared minus 7x positive 3. X times 3x squared, what is that? 3x cubed. X times negative 7x. Negative 7x squared. And x times 3, 3x. Negative 3 times 3x squared. Negative 9x squared. Negative 3 times negative 7x. Positive 21x. And negative 3 times positive 3, negative 9. My like terms should be diagonal from each other because those were all in standard form. So I have 3x to the third minus 16x squared, and then plus 24x, and minus 9. Any questions about those first 4 multiplying ones? Those should be easy points, right? Okay. Factoring. Most people did really good on this. If people got 100% here, usually they missed 1 point on number 9, which we will see in a minute. All right, what have I got going on here? Well, the first question I need to ask myself on every single one of these is what? What do they have in common that I can take out? What do these two have in common? 5. If I take a 5 out, what's left? 25n squared minus 1. This right here, we know as a difference of squares. A lot of people missed that. I don't know if it was the 25 that threw them off or the 1, but 1 is a square number. So I have a 5 out in front, and then what is this 25n squared minus 1 going to break into? Well, 25n squared, the square root of that is 5n. So there's my 5n and 5n. Square root of 1 is 1. Make 1 a plus, 1 a minus, and now you're done. Does that make sense? Okay. So again, that was a 2-pointer. Number 6 is a 2-pointer. 7 and 8 are both 3 points, and 9 is worth 4 points. Okay. I didn't put percentages at the top of your test, did I? Sorry. You can divide the top number by the bottom number and get your percent. I meant to do that. All right. First question I ask myself, do they have anything in common that I can take out? No. So I have 3 terms. What kind of factoring is this? Is this going to be grouping? Is it sum or difference of cubes, difference of squares, snowflake? What is it? Snowflake. Okay, what goes on the top of my snowflake? 9 times 4, which is 36. On the bottom? 12. 2 numbers that multiply to get 36 and add to get 12. 6 and 6. What do I put on the top? I put the 9 in both places, and then I take that x squared and I split it up into x and x. What about the y squared? I split that up and put y and y on the bottom. 9 over 6, does that simplify or reduce? 3 over 2. Now, what do you notice about these 2 parentheses? They're the same. It's 3x plus 2y and 3x plus 2y. So how do I expect your answer to be written? 3x plus 2y quantity squared. Questions there? Okay. Number 7. Is there anything that they have in common that I can take out? 7 what? I can take a 7 out of 24? There's nothing that all 4 terms have in common, right? Now, 4 terms, what method do I have to use? Grouping, right? Cut it in half, and then look and see what do these 2 have in common. That's where the 7 is. What else do they have in common? N squared. And what would be left inside there? 7n minus 6. Yes? What sign comes next? I noticed some people didn't put a sign. They just started going with the next number. You have to put a sign. Minus sign. Why minus? Because the next sign is a minus. What do these 2 have in common? 4. Okay. What's going to be left inside? 7n minus 6. Why is it minus 6 and not plus 6? Because this was a plus. Because we took out a negative. Negative 4 times negative 6 is the way I get that positive 24. So, one of my parentheses is 7n minus 6. My other parentheses is 7n squared minus 4. Now, let me look at that for a minute. Is that a difference of squares or anything that can be broken up further? No. So, I can just write it as 7n squared minus 4. We good there? Awesome. Number 8, anything I can take out? Nope. What have I got there? I have a difference. I have cubes. So difference of cubes. So I know my difference of cubes formula is a minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. There's my same sign as the problem. Opposite, O, always positive. There's my SOAP thing, right? So now I just need to figure out what am I plugging in for a and b. Well, what is it that when I raise it to the third power gets me that first term? 2x. So 2x is what I'm going to be plugging in every time I see an a. What is it that to the third power gets me 125y cubed? 5 what? 5y. So 5y is what I'm plugging in every time I see a b. So my first parenthesis is simply a minus b. So it's 2x minus 5y. Okay. Then this says a squared. How do I square 2x? I square the 2 and I square the x. That gives me 4x squared. Plus a times b. What's 2x times 5y? 10xy. And then finally plus b squared. How do I square 5y? Square the 5 and the y. That gives me 25y squared. Done. After you've used the difference of cubes, or sum of cubes for that matter, you are done. You don't need to worry about checking to see if you can snowflake further or anything. We're just done there. So? Those seem to be the ones that are most disliked this chapter. All right, next one. This one's the one that's worth the most amount of points. Wonder why. What do they have in common? 3x. Okay, if I take out 3x, what's left? 2x to the 4th minus 17x squared minus 9. Okay, nothing's left in common, so I know I took out enough. So I know that in my answer, 3x has to come first. Do not forget that 3x. That's important. Now looking at this is a 4th degree. How do I factor a 4th degree? Snowflake. Why can I snowflake it? Not just because it's a 4th degree, but because this one is half that one. So if it was 6 and 3, 8 and 4, as long as it fits that pattern of this one cutting in half and getting that one, you can use the snowflake. So what goes on the top? 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. What goes on the bottom? Two numbers that multiply to get negative 18 and add to get negative 17. 18 and 1, there was one group, I can't remember if it was this period or second period, they made the 1 negative. It can't be the one that's negative. It has to be the 18. Why? Because they have to add to get negative 17. 18 plus negative 1 is positive 17. It has to be negative 18 and positive 1. All right, what do I put on the top? I put 2, and then what? I split up the x to the 4th and give myself x squared there and x squared there. Can I reduce either of these? 2 over 18 becomes 1 over 9. So this one right here is x squared, and that's still a negative. So it should be 1 over negative 9. X squared minus 9. What's that? Difference of squares. So that x squared minus 9 needs to become x plus 3, x minus 3. A lot of people miss that. This one right here is going to become 2x squared plus 1. Can that reduce or break down any further? No. So that's going to stay as 2x squared plus 1. So most people, if you got that one right, most people missed the x plus 3x minus 3 part there. Okay? Any questions about this side? No? Not a single one? All right, let's turn it over. Backside goes a lot faster, I think, personally. All right. It says use what kind of division? Long division. I need to see your long division. If I don't see long division, then I can't mark it right. All right? So, what goes on the outside of my long division? I'm going to do it over here just so I have a little bit of extra room. 5b plus 2. And inside, what's going to go? 5b to the 4th minus 48b to the 3rd. Uh-oh. There's no b squared. What do I do? Plus 0b squared. Then I can put the plus 43b plus 23. So far, so good? All right. 5b times what gives me 5b to the 4th? B to the 3rd. Then I take the b to the 3rd and I distribute it. B to the 3rd times 5b is 5b to the 4th. And b to the 3rd times 2 is 2b to the 3rd. Now I change my signs. This will become a negative. This will also become a negative. That cancels, and I have negative 50b to the 3rd plus 0b squared. It's the end of cycle 1. Okay. Let me pick another color. All right, so now let's do cycle 2. 5b times what is negative 50b to the 3rd? Negative 10b squared. Now what do I do with that negative 10b squared? Distribute it through here. Negative 10b squared times 5b is negative 50b to the 3rd. And negative 10b squared times positive 2 is negative 20b squared, right? Change my signs. This will become a positive. That will become a positive. And let's see, that cancels, and I have 20b squared plus 43b. End of cycle 2. Cycle 3, 5b times what gives me 20b squared? 40 what? 40b. 40b times 4, not 40b. Come on, Franken. 4b times 5b is 20b squared. And 4b times 2 is 8b. Change my signs. This becomes a negative. That becomes a negative. That cancels. 43b minus 8b is 35b plus 23. I think I'm almost done. Last cycle. 5b times what is 35b? 7. 7 times 5b is 35b. 7 times 2 is 14. Change my sign, so this becomes a negative, and that also becomes a negative. And let's see what I'm left with. 23 minus 14 is 9, and that's going to be my remainder because my degree is lower than this guy out here. So, let's put this all together to write our final answer. I have b to the 3rd, you can't see, b to the 3rd minus 10b squared plus 4b, and then plus 7. And then I have to put a plus or minus sign before I write my remainder. What should I put? Always put a plus sign. It's just easier. The top is going to be 9 over what? 5b plus 2. And that's my answer. Questions there? Yes. Say that one more time.
When do you know to change the signs?
When do you know to change the signs? After you have distributed and you have your terms there, that's when you change the signs. right when you're about to start canceling and adding. Okay? All right, we ready for synthetic division? Again, just like it says use long division, I have to see the long division. When it says synthetic division, I need to see the synthetic division. Okay? All right, based on this right here, what is my box number? 3. We always take it out of parentheses and we change the sign, because really what are we doing? We're setting this equal to 0, and we end up having to do the opposite to both sides. That's where the sign change comes in. Okay? What are my numbers across the top? 6, negative 18, 0, 4, negative 6, right? This is the end of the fourth, end of the third. There is no n squared, so I do need the placeholder. 4 and negative 6. Bring down the first term. Then what? Multiply by the box number. 6 times 3 is 18. Write my answer there. Add. Repeat. 0 times 3 is 0. Add. Multiply by the box. Add. Finally, we're away from the zeros. Multiply by the box. Add. What's my remainder? The last one is always your remainder. So let's see. I had 6 to the 4th. I'm sorry, end of the 4th. I divided by an n. That's going to leave me with end of the 3rd for that term. So I have 6 end of the 3rd. This would be my end of the 2nd term. That would be my end of the 1st term. That's my constant. So I just have 6 end of the 3rd plus 4. And then my remainder, I'm going to write plus 6 over n minus 3. Make sense? Okay. Use synthetic substitution. What do you think I need to see done in this problem? Synthetic substitution. I need to see your work for this. So what's my box number? Negative 2. They give you your box number. You don't need to change any signs because it's already out of the parentheses. What are my numbers across the top going to be? 1, negative 4, 3, negative 3, 4. There are no missing terms. X to the 4th, x to the 3rd, x to the 2nd, x constant. There's no missing terms, so I don't have any holes to fill in there. Bring down my first term. There's a 1. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Negative 4 plus negative 2 is negative 6. Repeat the process. Negative 6 times negative 2. 12. 3 and 12 is 15. Repeat the process. 15 times negative 2. Negative 30. Negative 30 and negative 3 is negative 33. Negative 33 times negative 2 is positive 66. 4 and 66 is 70, and that's my remainder. What is my answer? This is not like this problem in that I don't need the whole polynomial. In this one, I'm just looking for what? That remainder. So when it says f of 2 equals, or f of negative 2 equals, I write 70. That's the remainder you get when you divide by negative 2. Okay? Ready for the last one? State if the binomial is a factor of the given polynomial. Show some work to verify. I don't know why there's really a line there, because I really just want you to circle the word yes or no. Okay? There's nothing you really need to put in that line. In fact, maybe I'll try and change that before we copy the test. How do I know whether it's yes or no? I'm going to do divide, and then what? What would make it a yes? 0 for what? The remainder. If the remainder is not 0, then the answer is no. So what's my box number? Looking here, negative 6 is my box number, right? Because when you said x plus 6 equal to 0, you end up subtracting, and that's where the negative 6 comes from. What are my numbers across the top? 3, 27, 56, 9. There's no missing ones, right? 3, 2, 1, 0. I think we're set. All right, here we go. Be very careful because one tiny mistake messes everything up here. Bring down the 3. 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. 27 minus 18 is 9. 9 times negative 6 is negative 54. 56 minus 54 is 2. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. 9 and negative 12 is negative 3. That's my remainder. Since my remainder is negative 3, is this a binomial, or is this a factor? No. You don't need to put the negative 3 over here. I just need to see your work over here. And then just circle the correct one, yes or no. Okay? Any questions? Gonna get 100% tomorrow? Happy studying.